Welcome to SWTV, Sylvia with the Voice, your ultimate source for the most abnormal news and wildest reactions on the internet. I'm Sylvia, and we need to talk about what is happening in these streets. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button because it's about to get weird. Let's go. Okay, y'all, the streets are talking, and apparently they brought receipts. As the Nolan Wells case continues to unfold, social media is now raising some serious questions about Nolan Wells' mother. Alleged inconsistencies, old statements, and screenshots are being pulled back into the spotlight, and people are asking, are these legitimate red flags, or has the internet speculation gone too far? Let's get into what's being said and what we can truly verify, and you can decide for yourself.
As a mother, again, I'm not saying this was some contentious court battle. They agreed, hey, these kids are going with their father. But just as a mother, I just don't think that's not the look you want, in my view.
No, it's not, Jason, and I'm not sure how old these children were at the time that they were placed with their father, but most courts, even now, respect the tender years, where between 0 and 5 years old, they feel like the children are better with the mother. So for them to go a different route, it actually speaks volumes for me, and I want to know more. So I'm hoping people actually do send you more emails, because I think there's something behind that story.
So Christine Wonsley had 6 children in total, including her late son Nolan Xavier Wells and her 5 other children, Ethan, Elmore, Carlisha, Jalen, and Jaden. Those last 3 apparently are the ones who live with their father. They're the older ones, allegedly.
I'm not shocked, because this woman thought it was okay to get up here and do a skincare tutorial to music 2 weeks after her son was found dead. It just didn't make any sense. For me, talking to my best friend who lost her son, we've been trying to say, what's going on here? This isn't normal. And people hopping in your comments or hopping in my comments on X saying you have no right to speak on a woman who lost her child. This is what we do. This is, again, another playbook that we feel like grief or excuses, and you just looking like the incompetent, helpless person will just bring these people up to defend you, and because they're going to make sure you're safe. Well, she doesn't need to be safe, and if she felt like that, she would have just stayed off the internet. I feel like she would have taken the time to grieve. To this day, Jason, I still could not point out Austin Metcalf's mom if she approached me in the grocery store. We haven't seen this lady. This lady is actually grieving her son, whereas we have Christine Wells wanting to be in front of the camera every chance she gets. It just not pass the sniff test for most normal people.
I'm not suggesting that this is my belief, but I do believe the person that sent me this information, directed me on where to find it, their motive and their belief is like, man, this whole devoted mother shtick is a shtick. She had 3 other kids and seemed to willingly give them up in a custody battle with their father. And so now to turn around now, because there's money and cameras involved, you're holding up, and death is different than, hey, they're going to live at their father's house. But it just says, like, it furthers the speculation and the conversation that many people have that, like, hey, man, Nolan wasn't really living at her house or with her and Elmore at the time. And I'm sure someone sent me this to say, yeah, she had a little distant relationship with her other kids as well. I think that's the point they're trying to hammer and trying to get people to point out, rather than allowing this woman to run around like she was Emmett Till's mother, and they're gonna make a movie about her. People are just going to correct the record, because they're not going to have their town, their reputation smeared, because every white person in that town has had their reputation smeared to some degree by these allegations and charges. And so hey, you're hitting below the belt, we'll hit below the belt.
Yeah, Jason, and I think it answers so many questions that we've had over the last few weeks. For me, I was wondering, why did they have to, quote unquote, rent a church to have his funeral? But then it also spoke to why there were no coaches speaking, no other family members speaking, no friends, even the ones that she liked. Maybe it could be because this woman didn't know these people personally to even be able to pick out who would be the best coach, who would be the best teacher. Let me call an aunt that had had a very close relationship with Nolan. All of these things were red flags to me when I sat and watched the funeral. Like, where are the people who actually knew Nolan? Why is it just being Crump up here? Why is it just Al Sharpton? Why is it people that did not know this young man? Somebody is preaching a eulogy that can't speak good words about Nolan because they don't know him. These are red flags, but I think what we're seeing now and this information coming out answers those questions.
Now, y'all, this case has already had more twists and turns than anybody expected. But lately, the conversation has shifted. People are not only questioning Nolan's friends anymore, they're starting to ask some uncomfortable questions about Nolan's mom. Listen, I'm not here to accuse this woman of anything, but I'm here to discuss what's publicly being talked about, because some people are saying the pieces simply aren't fitting together the way they expected.
There is a new update. Ocean Springs is no longer keeping silent. 2 people have turned this sleepy town upside down, let alone the state of Mississippi. It goes on and it says, Chancery Court cases in the town of Jackson County, Mississippi. Civil case filed inquiry. This was dated back 1/25/2007. Christine Wells versus James E. Briscoe Jr. Domestic relations. She gave up 3 of her children to the custody of James E. Briscoe Jr. and pays child support. The judge awarded him custody. Final disposition was 3/27/2008. Case, I guess the case number and so was in 2007 0155. File number 0068828. And for those of you that don't think I'm telling the truth, you can see right there the message, and I'm asking the person to see my comment, you know? So those are not my words. I'm literally the messenger that is pretty much looking at the case. So it goes on and it says, there's a new update. Ocean Springs is no longer keeping silent. Now, I don't know if somebody from Ocean Springs released this info. I don't know. But it says they're no longer keeping silence. 2 people have turned this sleepy town upside down. I don't know who the 2 people are. I don't know if they're talking about Nolan Wells' mom and the guy in question, James E. Briscoe. I don't know if they're talking about those 2. But it says that, let alone the state of Mississippi. So it basically says Jackson County, Mississippi, civil case file inquiry was 1/25/2007. And it says Christine Wells versus James E. Briscoe Jr. Domestic relations. She gave up 3 of her children to the custody of James E. Briscoe Jr. and pays child support. The judge awarded him. If the judge awarded him, then she didn't give nothing up. See, this is why we got to look into it, because how could she give up the kids if the judge awarded her? If the judge awarded him, you know what I mean? So we got to look into this thing more. But then again, sometimes a woman can forfeit, I guess, her ability to have the kids. You get what I'm saying? Like, she could literally tell the judge, look, I don't want them. Give them to him. You know, one of them type of things. So it says the judge awarded him custody. And it looked like this happened in 2008.
At the end of the day, with all these theories, alleged red flags, and competing narratives, we cannot lose sight of the most important question: what actually happened to Nolan Wells? That's what the conversation should ultimately be about. Keep asking questions, keep looking for verified information, and always let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Shout out to Jason Wetlock and Ringo TV. Please remember to comment, like, subscribe. We'll continue the conversation in the comments below. Please remember to be mindful and respectful, and I'll see you in the next video.